Hello, this is Vicki LaRoe with Modern Jewelry Creators. Thanks so much for joining me for this video. This is another color palette video, though a little bit different than previous ones, but you won't see my face, just my hands occasionally here and there. And I've done color palette videos before for particular projects. So when people have maybe ordered this Hidden Gems bracelet and it's available in many different color palettes, it's just been easier for me to do a quick video to share them or walk through them and to throw that on YouTube so students could select their colors. And lots of other people who didn't order the kit or sign up for the class would watch it because, you know, who doesn't like to look at pretty colors? So this is similar to that, except instead of palettes for a particular project, I'm going to be sharing just the color palettes themselves. And I'm going to try to keep not to lean in front of the camera, but it's just the color mix itself. And depending on how long you've been following me, I used to own a big, beautiful bead store in Tacoma, Washington called the Bead Factory that I had for almost 30 years. And about 10 years into that process, I started traveling around the world to buy gemstones and pearls. So India, Thailand, Japan, Hong Kong, and I just travel around the world to buy beautiful, high-quality gemstones and pearls to bring them back for my customers. And about maybe 10 years ago or so, I started making these mixed palettes and making little jars of a color story. And you may have seen other retailers do something similar. They would call it bead soup, which is just a mix of beads. That's not what this is. This is a very specific, custom curated color collection where I'm mixing the colors to make a very specific color story that's either on trend for the season or it's maybe put out by Pantone, the new colors for a certain year, etc. And unlike maybe other bead mixes, ours only use gemstones and freshwater pearls and crystals. There's no glass beads or seed bead filler in any of it. It's all very nice quality gemstones and real pearls. So not like craft store quality at all, just really nice quality materials. And so like in the jar that I had, we used to name them. This is Till We Meet Again because the color story is kind of teal. So this one has aventurine and fluorite and prehnite and lots of big beautiful pearls and the crystals, etc. These are 100-gram jars. I think they're around $40 or so. And we would make a necklace, the 6-strand necklace, for each color story because it was easier for the customers to see the colors this way. And this is one jar. Everybody would always say, there's no way that's one jar. That's one jar. I made many, many of them. It does have another thing we used to make that were called precious accents, which is just a little package of small crystals. And so that's what we use to separate the larger beads. And so those small crystals between the other beads give you a lot more mileage. But it is for sure one jar that were 100-gram jars that were around $40 or so. That were really fun to make. I probably made over 60 or 70 color stories in the years we were doing those. However, over time, that kind of big, heavy, beaded look became outdated, right? And trends of jewelry were a lot more delicate and dainty styles. And so I continued to make palettes, but with smaller beads. And so just the same gemstones and pearls and crystals, but everything kind of under 6 millimeter. And if you're familiar with how the quality works for gemstones or pearls, size doesn't always matter at all. It can. Sometimes people love, the carat weight of things. So it can matter, but what's more important is generally the clarity or the color or how smooth the surface is for a pearl. So things like that actually matter more. So you can get quite a lot of beautiful gemstones in a tiny package. So these little color mixes our precious palettes, where smaller ones are about half the weight, about half the size, so they're like $24. But I haven't offered them in over a year, mostly because of COVID. I hadn't been able to travel to get more inventory, and there hasn't really been any gym shows to even buy any kind of fillers. So I haven't been able to make them until recently, because thankfully, another kind of beautiful thing about having a bead business for so long is that I have a wonderful group of customers, and occasionally they've accumulated such a collection of beads that at some point they decide they either don't bead anymore, or sometimes they've passed on, which is not the case in this situation, but just for whatever reason they decide they want to sell some of their collection. We call them estate sales. And so I've been very fortunate to be going through a customer's estate sale lately, and I can just give you little glimpses. Like, here's like one tray of all these beautiful Keshi pearls, and I have, here's like another tray of beautiful pearls that I opened. All these were in bags with like receipts from 2006, like all my original tags and all my original inventory, and then along with like beautiful, this is just a little tray of gemstones. This has that blue kyanite and aquamarine, pink sapphires. There's a strand of diamonds, rubies, blue sapphires. Look at tourmaline, like gorgeous, really beautiful high-end gemstones. And it doesn't stop. I have trays and trays of them. Look, all these beautiful briolettes. There's some beautiful opals, and there's tons of them. So this whole estate sale will be online soon, because unfortunately we still can't do in-person events yet. So I do need to put it all online. So I suggest you subscribe to the channel if you're not already, so that you get updates when that all goes live. But in the meantime, what it did allow me to do was to make more palettes. It's been awesome for me to purchase my own beads back from this customer and make high quality, beautiful color palettes again. So exciting. So I apologize for that long intro, but I really wanted to give people context that weren't familiar. And so I was able, 3 of the color mixes are previous ones. I've had just some of our most popular ones that I had some, but not enough, not a lot where I could offer them for sale. So this allowed me to make more of them, so I have a good selection. But then I also made 2 brand new ones I've never had before. So very excited about showing them to you, and showing you some samples that can be made with them. We could do that quickly. This where I showed you the little hidden gems bracelet. These are made, this probably uses maybe a good chunk of the kit, so maybe 3/4 of it or so, not a whole one. Depends, of course, how full you make it. But there's a little hidden gems bracelet. This necklace uses that palette. It probably only uses like a quarter of it, maybe 25%. These are just all linked together, right? That makes a beautiful necklace, because you've got a gorgeous color story that works. So you can really mix it in almost any way to get a beautiful piece of jewelry. This is our dancing gems bracelet. They've done the same color story and put them all on little head pins. And there's a pattern to that, believe it or not. We have that kit on our website as well. And then this is that same color story that's all strung. So this is a package that's strung, and you can do a long necklace that's doubled, or I like doing it as a wrap bracelet. I think is really fun. So this is just a few of the different kind of jewelry options you could do with these palettes. So let me just walk through a couple of them. I'm going to try not to keep it too close to the microphone because bead noise is loud. But this is our Midnight Moonlight, and she's just a beautiful kind of deep, sultry, sexy mix that has lapis, amethyst, sodalite, labradorite. What else is in here? Gray moonstone, and then lots of pearls and crystals, of course, as well. It just makes up this really kind of yummy, deep mix that I just think is so pretty, so sexy. And I apologize for reaching over. This is our Southwest Romance that I showed you. We had a couple of samples made with it, but it's classic red coral and blue and green turquoise, amber, citrine, carnelian, peridot, red aventurine, just there's tons and tons of beautiful gems in here. Plus, of course, lots of gorgeous pearls and crystals. This makes such a fun mix. And then this is another one of my all-time favorites, one of our most popular ones. This is Pretty in Paradise. Reminds me of like a Caribbean ocean, cruise with all the kind of aquas and teals and things. So it's got a lot of aquamarine, amazonite, green aventurine, moonstone, prehnite, mother of pearl, just lots and lots of pretty, yummy shades in there. There's also just like a little kiss of lavender, and it's kind of hard to see there, but like in the bracelet, kind of see it's just got the sweetest little accents of a kind of translucent purple that's very soft, and it's just yummy. I think it ties it all together really beautifully as a lovely accent. So for our new colors, though, I did go off Pantone's new colors, their color palette for 2021, spring-summer 2021. Sometimes I'll make a color story exactly, that color. But in this case, I kind of mixed a couple of them. So they have an amethyst orchid and then a raspberry sorbet. So both really kind of bright, kind of raspberry colors, and then a purple. And so I mixed them into this beautiful one we're calling Cherry Blossom that I think is just gorgeous. So lots of rose quartz, morganite, red garnet, rhodonite, moonstone, crystal quartz, tons of amethyst, and of course tons of pearls, cashew pearls, and beautiful crystals. And she's just beautiful. And that's what this little Hidden Gems is done with that color story. Right, she's just yummy and gorgeous. Then the last one I'm going to share uses two of the blues from Pantone. One is the Cerulean Blues, right? So kind of a spa-like, serene, soft, kind of powdery blue. And then the French blue, which is very vibrant and kind of a live blue. And so I mixed both those to make this beautiful palette. It's full of this beautiful blue kyanite, lapis, sodalite, aquamarine, amazonite, moonstone, labradorite, and then tons of, again, pearls and crystals and things. I think she makes such a pretty, I'm trying to get it in light, such a fun, vibrant color story. Right, here's her little palette. I don't have anything made with her yet because I just made the mix, but I just think it's so kind of vibrant. It really inspired from, I guess, travel and places. It reminds me of certain areas. Because this is Paris in the springtime. That is because it's a very Parisian blue. I just think it's really lovely. Reminds me of Paris in the springtime, though I'd never been to Paris in the springtime or any other time. But it reminds me of that. This reminds me of very, like I said, very cherry blossoms and just very romantic, and just love these color stories. So I apologize for rambling on. These are all available on our website. I will leave a link below. The palettes, these mixes are $24. And I will leave a discount code where you can get 10% off. There is a very limited quantity on each color. You're looking at it. This is all I have. I can make a little bit more of some of them, but there's probably 10 of each available. And next week I'm going to have a couple new color stories coming out. But that's how it works. I put them out at a limited quantity available, and you need to scoop them up when I have them. So if you're still here in the video, thank you for hanging out. Please subscribe to the channel so that you get updates about the estate sale and other palettes when they're coming out. Next week I have new designs too, so we'll get back to regular videos with brand new jewelry designs each week. And until then, get out there, sparkle brightly like the star that you are. Peace.